Hi everybody. Okay, let's start. So, yesterday we finally were able to emit a few log entries. We have this script in order to test our implementation. And if we check the to-do list again, what we have here is we want the ACL log to display failed login attempts, but we want also grouping of similar entries so that basically if there are very similar errors, like for example this one and this one, no, actually here everything is different, but we can modify the script in order to create a situation like that. Okay, in this case, the same user will attempt to perform the same access twice. And right now, what will happen is that we will see two repeated log entries which are exactly the same. So they have not much value. So object that, username, and so forth. Again, here is a denying of the get command happening in a very similar conditions, the same for the same reason, in the same context, and for the same username. And also, which is very important, within a very narrow time range. So we also, before grouping, we also want the events to happen quite at the same time, almost at the same time. Otherwise, if a number of seconds elapses since the last event, we want to log it as a separated event. But if, as long as there is a given maximum delay between very similar log entries, we keep having exactly the same object, and just we will increment this counter here. Okay, that's an interesting problem to solve, because we can try to abstract a bit the implementation. While we are here, you see here I have a to-do command, but I want to make sure I will not forget about this. So in the to-do list I will write implement ACL reset, ACL log reset. Okay, so the function which is in charge of performing the logical matching between log entries is the add ACL log entry here. Now, as you can see right now, this function works like that. We create a new entry to start, we allocate it, and we create the new entry populating the structure field. And then we finally append it to our list of events. I think that even if it's not the maximum efficiency possible, we can still retain this idea of first creating the entry and only later, if needed, only later match the entry with the existing entries. To start, we can create a function that will return true if two entries look the same from the point of view of the characteristics that we want two entries to have in common in order for us to logically consider them similar enough. So int ACL ACL log match entry. Okay. Let's check if the reason is the same. Not the same reason, return. Later we will consider if grouping or not the different if statements. However, probably the compiler don't care at all and will emit exactly the same code. But anyway, it's simpler for now to just write one after the other. So the reason, and we want to make sure that the object is the same. We will see later how we can optimize this, but for now we just write if this is an SDS string, so we should have an SDS compare. Yeah, it's like a string compare, so it will return 0. It will return 0 in case the strings are the same. The objects are not the same. Okay, they are different events, and same with username. It must be the same username. Of course, the client info can be different because sometimes it will be one client. Actually, when there are repeating errors, it's very likely that the client tries, disconnects, try again, disconnects, so this will change again and again. And finally, the most important thing is the C time. We calculate basically the time delta, which is H time minus B C time. Okay. Take the absolute value of our delta, and if the delta is greater than, I don't know, I think that here we should be like kinda open-minded and put 60 seconds. Okay, if all these conditions will pass, we say, okay, the two entries are matching. However, this test and this test are expensive, so we can rather say, let's start with the most obvious test, the cheapest one to perform, which is the reason. If the reason passes, then let's check also the context. Let's check the context one. And then calculate the delta and perform the delta comparison before we actually try to make the most expensive checks, which is the string comparison checks for the object name and the username. Okay, let's check if it compiles. People ask if I can increase the video quality. Let's try what happens. Yeah, the difference is that now I'm using the external monitor, and in the past I didn't. I used directly the laptop display, and it's probably better for Twitch. However, let's try to improve the video quality here. So okay, I should disable it and then enable it for it to work. Just please wait a minute. I will return back online as soon as possible.